But I would like to ask Amanda about the drawbacks. And you know Turkey very well, and we discussed with you that Turkey, when signing association agreement with European Union, well, having the possibility of membership, but in any case, there were many drawbacks, many problematic areas, especially in the economy. But they not only survived, they prospered in that process of implementing the free trade agreement with European Union. How would you compare Ukraine and Turkey, Ukrainian and Turkish experience of signing something which you don't definitely know what will it bring to you, and you definitely know that something bad will be with your economy?
Okay, well, there is some difference obviously between the Turkish case and Ukraine, because Turkey in 1963 signed Ankara Agreement, which was an association agreement, but within the context of that agreement back then, Turkey was basically promised membership of the EU. And as I'm sure you're all aware, it took decades and decades of efforts and moaning and groaning from Ankara until the EU actually granted Turkey candidate country status in 1999. But thereafter, there is some. You can draw some comparisons if you want to look at these agreements as tools for pushing the reform process in countries. I mean, Turkey, quite frankly, was a shambolic country at the end of the 1990s, both economically and politically. It made the headlines because of violations in human rights, Kurdish oppression, Armenian oppression. It had multiple coalition governments that collapsed a few months after the previous one had collapsed. It was only really when Turkey got the green light from the EU that it could actually go ahead that things started to change. But at the end of the 1990s, Turkey suffered one of its worst economic crises ever. I mean, basically the whole economy collapsed. The Prime Minister threw the constitution at the head of the President, and the next day basically the banking system collapsed thereafter. But once Turkey actually got this EU, let's say, membership perspective, I mean, they seriously engaged in a reform process in the country, which I guess many people in the EU thought would not actually happen. I mean, Turkey was told, if you do this, this and this and this, you will get a candidate country status and you will be able to open accession talks. And surprise, surprise, a country that was hopeless economically and politically did actually take the steps. They did actually find consensus between the ruling party and the opposition, and they carried out really a staggering number of reforms in a short period of time, and deep reforms. And since then, I believe that the Turkey that we have today, a dynamic economy, a regional leader with a strong role in this region, an energy hub, and many other things. The role that the EU had in transforming Turkey was absolutely crucial and significant. If Turkey hadn't been engaged in this reform process, this would never have happened. I think Turkey would still be a shambolic country, a third world country. Now Turkey gives financial aid rather than just receiving it, and this is a large extent due to the EU. So to a certain extent, you could say that if Ukraine is offered the same chance, of course Ukraine doesn't have a membership perspective. Unfortunately, that's the case. I'm somebody that strongly supports Ukraine having a membership perspective, but still, the fact that it would be, let's say, locked into these association and trade agreements, I think does offer Ukraine a much greater room for having EU leverage to push ahead and make reforms that could more quickly modernise and transform the country. I mean, I believe that if Ukraine is left by itself, it won't modernise anything at all. We'll probably have the same Ukraine, an even worse Ukraine, in 5 to 10 years' time than we have now. I think the only chance Ukraine actually has of moving forward in any way is with the EU integration process. As simple as that. I don't think there's any alternative whatsoever. And if it doesn't have it, you could even say there's a risk of the country actually breaking up or fragmenting in the future. So I think it's really crucial. It was crucial for Turkey, and I think it's something that's very crucial for Ukraine as well.
Well, thank you very much. In this discussion, if I would be on the place of European authorities, I would realize that everything is fine with the association agreement except Tymoshenko case, because what we see here that everything is in favor of signing the agreement, because it gives the opportunity for Ukraine to develop.